everybody, I'm the Pigglesworth, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Along with Piggy. Now, I'm sure that some of y'all had a heart attack when you saw the beginning. You're like, wait a minute. The titles, they keep going. Wait, it's a time lapse. Wait, Piggy, what are you doing, buddy? Oh my gosh, you're tearing the whole thing down. What in the world is going on? Well, okay, so here, let me explain. So originally I had built a zombie pig XP farm, gold farm kind of thing that was designed by a YouTuber named Snowcrash. Now I'm going to have a link show up on screen so that you can go check out what in the world this is. This is a new farm design that he came up with. Right after I built this, he came out with it. I'm like, wow, really? So, and it was kind of good that he came out with it because the other farm design that I had built, this circle was an even number, and the circle we built now is an odd number. So we can see right up there, there's a nice center line going through the circle, which means I have a nice center line running through this tower, which means we now have a center line, a nice center line running through, let me figure out how to get down from here, running through the elevator. So everything's even and on center. It's middle. It's not going to drive me insane. That's what I was so worried about was the other design I was building. I forgot to put everything perfectly on center. And it was all jacked up. It was crazy. So let's go ahead and hop in here. We're going to go up to the top. There we go. And this is our new little area we've got. So it's a little bit tighter than the other one was. But it's going to do what we want it to. And this whole system's going to work. That's going to be our drop, shoot down. We'll go down there in just a few minutes. But I know what you're thinking, Piggy. This is weird. This is strange, buddy. This is not what I'm used to. Well, it's okay. I'm going to show you how this works. This thing's actually really, really cool. So I've got anvils right here that are for design, but at the same time we can use anvils. I've got storage space up here. Where'd I put them? There we go. Stuff for books so we can enchant books. Somewhere in here. Where in the world did I put it? Huh. I could have swore I had an ender chest around here somewhere. Maybe I don't. I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to have to put myself an ender chest up here because I'm supposed to be able... That's going to drive me insane because I know I had one around here somewhere. Oh, I've got it down below where all my junk is still at, where I'm storing stuff. Okay, so I'm going to have an ender chest up here so that I can, have diamonds and lapis and all that kind of stuff, and we can do our enchanting with the bookcases that are now up in part of the ceiling. But the way this system works is zombie pigs are going to try and chase you. They fall down that chute, and redstone pushes it up to this point. And because it gets near you, it goes ahead and gets sucked into your body. And I don't have an arrow. Darn it. Totally unprepared for this clip. Okay, so I'm going to have to come back this episode and show you how this thing works. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll bring the ender chest back up here when we do that. So we're going to go ahead and hop down the super long drop. Love this. Went ahead and put the vines back. And we got junk collecting. That's awesome. So let's go ahead and hop back up here. And we're going to take a look at the exterior of the farm, because I'm going to explain what in the world we're doing in this episode. Now, this episode is a very, very special episode. I'm not going to tell you why. You're going to have to wait till the end of the episode to find out. But this is a huge, epic episode, okay? See that? That has taken me something like 15 or 20 hours to tear down and rebuild. Just the intro time lapse alone was epic in the amount of work that it took. And I think I have my chunks turned down, don't I? I sure do. I turned them down so that I could film the rest of the time lapse without everything kind of hiccuping and stopping because it was trying to keep so many chunks loaded. So there we go. We can see that a little bit better. It's not as dark. Now, the exterior so far is just very basic. I still want those little hook designs like the other one had. And what I'm thinking about doing is maybe something right in here, extending it up and bringing it up to that point. Whoop, hit the wrong button. But what I also need to do is go over, figure out where the diagonals are, which is probably going to be right there in that spot. And I need to make a pattern in the floor coming back. And the little hanger down things that we had. It was kind of like, almost looked like was going to be like a giant chandelier or something. Now, this circle right in here is much bigger this part right in here, it's way bigger than the other one. So these discs, these donuts, they're not as wide as I would like them to be. So what I may need to do with the chandeliers, kind of have them drape out a little bit and come out, because they're going to be a little big, and I don't want them to feel like they're right up against this build. We also need to do something right in here, just, so that all matches and kind of fits. But this is like the basic shell. This is a basic exterior of what we're going to work with. And we have a functioning farm. And that's very important, because we need to have a functioning farm. Don't need to leave that thing half going. We need all the XP from it. And that's even going to be important. And you'll find out why at the end of the episode why that's important. So let's go ahead and hop back up here, because we're going to have to drop back down again. That's kind of the only flaw I've got going with this thing, is you have to go all the way up to go all the way down. So I'm going to hop all the way down, because we need to go back to the overworld. We got a couple things we got to get. Got to get some railroad tracks, some building supplies, so that we can work on those exterior hooks. And I'm also going to need to get a bunch of name tags, because name tags are going to be important in this episode as well. This is the most cryptic episode ever. Probably not. But I'm being cryptic Piggy, aren't I? I'm like telling you all these things, but I'm not telling you anything. I'm just trolling you as usual. So, let's see. All these elevators. And I just love this design. I'm so glad Monkey Farm came up with this design. So quick and easy to use. And is it night? It is. Now look at those guys just hanging out, congregating over at the door, wishing they could get at the villagers, and you can't. You guys are stuck. So, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to gather up my supplies and work on those hooks off camera, because I've also got to build a chamber. A big chamber. There's like tons of stuff that we've got to do. Got all this stuff I got to do. So I'm going to gather up all that stuff. I'm going to get the stuff built. I'm going to bring you back and show you what the chamber's about, show you what the name tags is about, show you what the chandeliers is about, show you what all the epicness is about. And show you that I forgot to turn on the spring texture pack, didn't I? Sure did. Wow. It has been, I'm not going to lie, it has been like probably 2 weeks that I have been working off camera just to get all of that farm revamped and ready for this episode. So it's been kind of a gap. If you pay attention to the dates, like if you're watching this in the future, you're going to notice that the date of release of this video is quite different. Like it's not the 1 week release schedule I've been doing, but now I'm rambling and I'm wasting time. So I'm going to go get all that stuff taken care of. I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to start revealing what all this crypticness is about. And hopefully it'll all make sense. So I'm going to meet you back down there, over the bridge, back through the portal, and back up at the Zombie Pig XP farm. All right, everybody. Went ahead and started back up in here. And look, I found my ender chest, and I put it up here. Now, I do want to clarify something in the previous clip. I was going back to watch it, and I had said I had built this farm, and then Snow Crash came out with this design. And I wanted to clarify. I wasn't saying that I designed this as well. I was saying that I had built his other Zombie Pig Gold XP farm. I had finished it here, and then he came out with this design. So I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want people to think that I was trying to take credit for something I never did. No. Mr. Snow Crash is the awesome one who came up with this stuff. So I went ahead and decided to start the clip back up here. 1, to show you the ender chest and make it up here. But 2, I got myself an arrow. Now these tools are just about worn out. And I think I've repaired that pickaxe at least 2 or 3 times. We may have to dump it and go build another one at some point, because it's going to get to the point. Where do we... Here. Will it show us... See, look, it's too expensive to repair, so we can't even repair that. That kind of stinks, because I was really enjoying having Efficiency 5, so we're going to have to build ourselves another Efficiency 5. But that is fine, because I have a feeling the next Efficiency 5 I build, unless I fall into lava or something, I'll never have to build it again. Uh-oh, more crypticness. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just show off how this thing works for those of y'all who haven't seen it. Oh, well-placed arrow to the face, and we get angry pigs. And look at them, just coming this way. Now, right now, we're in 1.8, and in 1.8, you can't get hatch doors to float in the air. They can do it in 1.9. but they won't do it in 1.8. So that's like a little 1.8 fix that we're going to have to upgrade when we get to 1.9. But see, they fall down there. And if we watch in just a second, the redstone mechanism is going to go off, and the slime blocks should be shooting the items forward. That doesn't look like it. There it went. That popped. Huh. Why aren't the orbs working? Oh, I have to stand in my center point. That's right. I went ahead and put this here because if you don't stand at the center point, pigs will try to go to one side. That's weird. It's like the direction that I'm looking is where they go. Okay, so they fall down in there. See how the slime blocks push that forward? And it takes a minute for this thing to kind of warm up. There it goes. And so the XP orbs are getting pushed forward. There's a slime block mechanism that pops them up. There's another one halfway up that sticks out and pops them up even further. And we get XP. So it's an awesome XP farm. Check that out. Love that. So that is that in action. That is that working. And I'm gonna have to go back and check the timing on that one because for some reason that one's not timing right. But we'll do that later off camera. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hop down because I need to show you what I've been up to. Hop all the way down, hop all the way back up, which is fine because I need a few moments to explain what's going on. So between clips, it's actually been another week. It has been an insane week. I have been designing and working and building and rebuilding and revamping over and over and over again. Where's my arrow? Here's my arrow. This arrow is going to be important in just a moment. We're going to run out here so I can show you what in the world is going on. I have pretty much finished the exterior of the farm, the chandelier look. See? Look at that. Whoop, you're starting to see something there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at it. Check that out. Isn't that epic? I told you it was going to be an epic episode. Got these little lights hanging down from here. We got these giant cages hanging down. These little spikes hanging out the side. It's kind of crazy because when you look at it like this, to me it makes it look like a face. Like a giant ant. Or actually another creature. Another creature that is in the nether. A nether creature. A very crazy, mean-looking version of a nether creature that we're actually going to capture and put in these 4 cages. Now, I'm not going to say what it is yet, but some of the more astute viewers are probably figuring out right now. Let's go ahead over here, and I got me some name tags. That took a little bit of work. We got a lot of rotted flesh, went over and traded with our villagers and bought ourselves 4 name tags, and I've already named these. Now, I'm not going to tell you where the names come from. I want to see if you can figure this out. I'll explain at the end of the episode. But just in case, like a little game, play along with Piggy. So we have Winston, Ray, Venkman, and Spengler. See if you can figure that out. And here's some leftover junk. Now, another thing I'm going to have to do is I'm thinking about half slabbing this area right in here, like making some kind of a circular pattern on the floor. Maybe one of the patterns I was going to use up there that I ended up having to tear out. Because what's happening is these blocks right here, and I think there's some over here. These are like the leftover blocks where when we busted through the bedrock, we kind of got random, right here. Every once in a while, a zombie pig will spawn right here. And the last thing that I need is to be up in there running the farm, to somehow get down here and there be a zombie pig walking around and it be hostile and it kill me. We don't need that. So I figured I would go ahead when I do the cleanup with this stuff, we'll go ahead and put a design on the floor. So I'm going to do that off camera as well. But this arrow is importante. We're going to go this way. Now I still have to put in my rail system. I need to build a temporary track up in the sky from that little cage right up in there. And this thing's kind of experimental. And it is mental. What this thing is going to be is a ghast capturer. A ghast cage kind of thingy. Each some forward here. Zoom in. Nothing up there. Let's go and run over here. So I'll explain what's going on. So I took a design from Impulse SV. I'll have a link show up as well so you can go check out what I'm talking about. Give him credit as well for this awesome design. But what he had come up with was a way to capture ghasts in the nether and send them to the overworld to make a ghast tier farm. So that way you could capture ghasts, you could kill them, get their tears, and use it to make potions. Here's all my rail that's over here waiting, and I'm going to have to go get a whole bunch of dirt because we need dirt for this. Piggy using up all the dirt. It's crazy. But what I did was, instead of using a portal to push this stuff, because what I was going to do was push it through the portal into the overworld. And then we were going to push them back through the portal to here one at a time. But what happened was I went through that portal, ended up out in a desert. And when I went back through the portal, I ended up somewhere else. And I totally forgot that portals above the nether, you can't get back through them. The game doesn't see that as a valid portal to enter. So what it did is it went ahead and created a portal aligned with this one, but way, way, way down underneath, down by the bottom. So I had to abandon that idea, and I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? It would be a whole lot easier if we just captured them and kept them in the nether. So here we go. Let's not die. And I still have to work out the math. There's supposed to be a certain distance that we stand from this platform right over there that's going to let ghast and stuff spawn. They haven't been spawning so far, but they do take a while. I may need to remove that roof just so they can spawn. But I'm going to have a minecart going back and forth right here. And when a ghast spawns, it's going to set off a tripwire that you can't see. Maybe I can... Right there, that tripwire. There we go. That right there with the little bounding box around it. It will set off some redstone that is going to push those pistons. It will push the ghast forward, and hopefully that minecart will capture it. Once we have a minecart with a ghast going back and forth, I'm going to have a rail that goes all the way over there. We can barely see it. And it's going to take the ghast to one of the cages. We're going to use some activator rail to wiggle the minecart and release the ghast inside the cage. And then once we've captured the ghast, I'm going to have to run over there because if you get too far, it will despawn. Run over there, pillar up. We will name tag that ghast, and we're going to have to do that 4 times. So I anticipate this is going to take a little while. All the epicness. Crazy epicness for a crazy episode. But it's all good because we have got to hurry up and get this farm done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my rail. I am going to get to testing this out and try to see if I can capture a ghast. I'm going to try and do this with the replay mod running, so that way when I capture one, I can go ahead and show it to you, show you how it works. We can be flying in the air as a camera, and we can watch Piggy from afar, capturing said ghast. So I got to go back to the overworld and get myself a whole bunch of blocks. We may just use netherrack because that's going to tear up a whole lot faster when it's done. We're going to lose our pick in the process. I'm pretty sure we will. But I'm going to go ahead and take this safe way down. I was going to hop, but no. We're just going to slowly go down. So hopefully you will get to see a little bit of footage from the replay mod of me capturing these ghasts, and then I'll bring you back and I'm going to kind of sum up what in the world's going on and try to explain why the epic episode, why did it take so long to make, and what is the big deal about this episodal. So, hopefully we'll meet back here shortly. Well, for you, it'll be shortly. For me, who knows how long. So, meet you back over here momentarily. Alright, everybody. I went ahead and got some footage and just threw it together from the replay mod. This process took me about another week. So this has been a very, very long episode to create and record. But you can see here that Impulse SV's little gas catcher thingy works really great. The moving, shifting floors, they filter out the zombie pigs, and those pistons at the side, they just push the ghast over right into the minecart. So I had this little bend right here in the track. I had to build a wall because what I didn't want to have happen is I didn't want a ghast to go around that and see me below them and shoot at me. But I also needed it to turn right there because I needed it to line up properly with the cages. I didn't measure everything before I built that little gas catcher up there. So here we are just coming down the giant hill. And for the most part, what I had done was I ran these tracks to each cage. I had to put a face on the cage so that the ghasts couldn't see the other ghasts and shoot at me. So that way I could get all 4 in there and they wouldn't attack me. Oop, they took a little bit of damage there and I had to splash potion with healing. Here I am getting the second one over there. I think I show you the third one? No, I don't. Okay, just those two. The other, it kind of got redundant. I'm putting 4 ghasts in cages. But basically, okay, and here we are. I had to poke my head in right in here. I actually get shot at a couple of times. But I had to jump in there and be brave. I had to do that 4 times and smack them with name tags so they won't despawn. So now, we've got ghasts. Woohoo! And there we go. The noisiest gold XP farm that there is. You thought that it would make a bunch of racket just getting all the zombie pigs up there? Nope. We had to go one step further. We had to add ghasts. Now, I will say it does sound very weird to hear all 4 ghasts making sounds at the same time. And I actually had to go down a couple times because if you noticed, things have been cleaned up. I picked up all the chests. I picked up all the mess, all the materials that have been used and spread out all over the place. I've got them all put up. I cleaned up everything. So going down there and coming back up, actually a couple of ghasts spawned down there in the nether. I thought that there would be a cap, like after a certain amount that you could only get a certain amount of gas in an area, but apparently not. The game just kept wanting to spawn them. So, but that's all good. We've got 4 ghasts. We've got a finished build. Woohoo! It's so awesome. And now that we have made it to the end of the episode, let me go ahead and hop up here so I can hop back down because I've got all this junk to get rid of. And you're probably asking, Piggy, why are you so concerned about cleaning up the mess? Well, I'm going to show you. Look, even this mess is gone. Everything has been cleaned up and put in order. Now, not in order. Not like you would think. Like the chest could use a little organization, to be honest. But we are going to call this something special. We're going to do something that we've only done once before. We're calling this End of Season 2. That's right. This is End of Season 2. I've been working very, very hard to try and get that farm finished because I wanted to go ahead and move up to 1.9. But I wanted 1.9 to go ahead and be a new season because 1.9 looks a little different. Like you have a shield in here and stuff like that. You can use 2 hands, different blocks. I did it again, didn't I? We've got to do the resource pack. I messed it up. There we go. One of these days I'll get that all figured out. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and get everything right as rain because that XP farm in 1.9 you can get mending on your tools. And your tools can get repaired so you don't have to run out of your tools. You can just keep them. So I thought that would be really cool to go ahead and get that built. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, what I like to do at the end of the season is I like to go ahead and release the map. I release this map to the general public for everybody to download. You can look at, you can see all the things that I've built. Just pop that in there. I've got glass around here somewhere. I know it's around here somewhere. I know I'm doing all my housekeeping right here at the end. Pop that down there. Went ahead and threw some of that splash potion of healing on those ghasts. So that was all good. Now, you know what I need to do? I need to make sure that I do this. I'm going to take off everything because I think if I save the game with me holding it, you won't have access to it. Now, it's all junk. Look, it's all torn up. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put mending on this stuff. That's going to be important. You know what? I've got all my stuff in the inner chest, too. Let's not waste time at the end of the episode doing this, okay? I am going to take all this stuff, and I'm going to move it over there in that chest, and then y'all can download it and see it for yourself. And look at that. We're going to get shot in the face. So, we're just going to go ahead and go over here. We'll go over here with the puppies. I'm going to do a little face-to-face with you. This is awesome. I cannot believe it. We have made it to the end of Season 2. And you guys, you haven't even seen nothing yet. Season 3, I have got so many ideas. I've got builds and things that are going to be even bigger than we've done in Season 2. Now, at the end of every single episode, I like to challenge you to take a theme from something I've done and do your own version and tweet it out to me. We're going to do this a little bit different. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through all of Season 2's episodes. Now, you don't have to watch them all again if you haven't. If you have. Yeah, if you haven't watched them, you may want to go back and watch them to just give an honest answer. But what I want to know is, I want you to tweet me, what are your favorite moments from season 2. If you don't want to tweet them, you can put them down in the description. That would be cool. I would really love to know what parts of season 2 did you guys really enjoy. I went back and watched a whole bunch of my different episodes, and it is insane how this series has grown from episode 1 to the end of season 1, and then season 2. Season 2 has been like such a step up from what season 1 was. And just season 2, we've grown so much just through this season. I've grown so much, I think I'm going to be bold and just run out into the night and not worry. Nobody's going to hurt me. Well, maybe those guys will. I'll tell you what, let's go over here. We'll go over here to the coal exchange, take ourselves a quick little nap. But seriously, I've had so much fun with season 2, even more fun than season 1. Like I said, I've got huge plans for season 3. I'm going to take just a little bit of a break here at the end of season 2 to get ready for season 3. So if you're watching this show as I release it, you're going to notice there's going to be a little bit of gap in time before season 3 gets started. If you're watching it, in the future, go ahead and binge watch. Season 3 should be ready to go, fired up and ready to go. You can just start it up and watch it. But I want to give a huge thank you to everyone. Thank you so much for making this series so successful, for all your likes, for all your comments, for even Mr. Epic Horse Up in the Sky. And the mobs over there going poof, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten up stuff in the inner chest to make sure everything's clean and ready to go. There will be a link down in the description box for Impulse SV's design, for Snow Crash's design that I used, and also a link downloading this world so that you can open it up in Minecraft. But like I said, I'm going to get to cleaning all this mess up so that y'all can download it and have fun with it, and I will see you in season 3.